Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Campus Care Ed Talks. Ed Talks is a platform where educators and leaders come on board and express their viewpoints related to education and society. Our topic for the day is technology changing the face of education, and to express her viewpoints on the same, we have with us Mrs. Sanjana Lamington, ma'am, school in charge of DM Gange Girls Senior Secondary School. A very warm welcome, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Mehak, for having me here. I'm really delighted to being associated with NTAM Infotech, and thank you so much for this opportunity.
Thank you so much, ma'am. It's an honor to have you here. So, ma'am, let's
Thank
start
you so
with
much.
the.
Thank you so much, Mehak. And it's BM Gange Girls Senior Secondary School.
I am sorry for
No, no,
the.
it's totally fine. It's totally fine. Many people know BM Gain School. I take this opportunity at this platform that many people do this thing that they misunderstood the name of the school. But I just want to highlight that there was Miss Gange who has started this institution. So that is why the school name is BM Gange.
All right, ma'am. So, ma'am, let's start off with the session, ma'am. Speaking of
Yeah, sure.
technology, ma'am, do you think technology is changing, the education, how we used to teach earlier and how we are, teaching nowadays, and how is it exactly, changing the education system, ma'am?
Okay, so it's a very interesting topic, first of all, because this is what we are encountering since last 2 years. Being a teacher and a school in charge myself, I just want to share here that if technology would haven't been there, existing there, it wouldn't be possible for us to take the classes during the lockdowns, a lockdown period. So, starting with the thing that how technology has, changed the face of the education. First, we need to understand that what exactly is the face of education. The face of education, if we talk about the traditional period. When the school children used to hang their bags and go to the school, and they were introduced with the benches, classroom, those four walls, and the doors, windows, that's it, and the bulletin board, and the teacher came in, just teach them, and they left. Now the things have changed drastically, and they are changing for good also. Like, for example, if we talk about the technology, where which field is left in the education where the technology has not affected, be it a classroom, be it a student, teacher, the whole management, everything has been affected by the technology. If we talk about first about the teaching, it has helped the teachers to come forward with the best foot forward, and also to use the resources which are available digitally, because earlier teachers were adhered to the books, those books, and whatever knowledge they are provided with, whatever training they are provided with. But now teachers also have this opportunity to move forward and to take their students towards those things, also to teach them those things that are not in reality, and they don't have hand on experiences, but they then also they understand about it. How? Because it is not mentioned in any book, but there are some apps or social media platform through which teachers are introducing many things to the students. If you talk about the students, they nowadays, you just name a project and they are ready with the Google, and they just Google the term and they find all the topics there. The whole Wikipedia is available for them, right? If we talk about any of the anatomy, earlier anatomy is a very big subject for the students, but now with the help of the technology, they don't find it very hard. It has become a little, easier for the students to understand the reality and the practicality of certain things, and also how to develop the understanding of that particular thing. And then they understand the concept from the digital platform, and then they try to write in their own language. It is helping them throughout their education. When we talk about the school management, of course technology has, changed the whole scenario. Earlier, the pen paper work is the only thing which we were doing, but now everything, I mean, I should talk about, and I should salute the recent educators, that they are, bringing a lot of changes in the result making, evaluation, invigilation. Everything has been affected by the technology. So I think that there is none other than technology which has, there's no field which has been untouched by the technology.
Absolutely, ma'am. Very well explained. You were just mentioning the lockdown period and everything. So, ma'am, during the pandemic, we all were working from home. You were teaching from home. There were online classes there. So, do you think that the traditional way of teaching, the four walls and the chalk and blackboard, is was that much better, or this online teaching that you were just mentioning, that teachers go home and firstly they study about, they try to understand, they keep an update, it helps in keeping an update also on the current issues, on everything they are supposed to teach at school. So do you think this online learning, is it much better, is it much is it more effective than the traditional way of teaching, ma'am?
Of course. See, if I will say that the online teaching is much better, then somewhere I would be wrong, because everything has its own importance. Earlier, when if you compare, if you will do the comparative study of the students which were there earlier, in fact, talking about my own generation, the generation which has came through a lot of hard work, right? We used to learn so many chapters. Now the syllabus have been divided into certain parts. Now the children have that feasibility to select the chapters and do their things. But of course, online education is also not very less of not very less importance, because during the lockdown, when we I was talking about the pandemic, teachers, I think, would have not realized until they have used these gadgets, that they are so capable that they don't need anything to teach. I mean, just a screen and the Zoom meeting ID, that's it. They can teach a whole lot of classes. And of course, somewhere or the other, if you talk about like the subject maths, but in particular, somewhere teachers have faced the problem that how to, because it is a functional subject, until you will not teach the students with proper formulas how to do it, and the steps of solutions, teachers were finding some problems. But if we talk about the other subjects, the technology overall is helping out the teachers to make the students understand the chapters very well. Because see, when we were taking the online classes, it we were not only adhere to that blackboard and chalk, we were not only adhere to the posters we have in the classrooms to support as a support material, but when we were teaching online, we have ample of resources, because there in through the screen sharing, many teachers were sharing a very fantastic resources. Like if we talk about the recently, I have I have gone through the augmented reality concept, and this has helped the teachers to make the students understand everything in practicality, the importance, the functions and all. So when we talk about that, if we compare the online classes and the traditional culture of taking the classes, each of them have equal importance. But also, some, like, we have advantages and disadvantages of both. So online classes have somewhere has created a gap, communication gap between the teachers and the students. So like in the classroom, in the traditional style of the classroom, students can raise their queries and teachers can interact one to one. But when we were online, we cannot have a one to one interaction, because we are stuck to the limited time period.
Yes, ma'am.
So of course there are the pros and cons of both the scenarios, both the concept of classes. But of course online classes have really helped during the pandemic, and it has helped the education system not to lose the precious time of students and the teachers.
Absolutely, ma'am. Teachers' presence, I think it's really important. Whether uh, that is not possible in the online classes, there could be, a lot of times better than the traditional way of teaching. But there has to be, there's this sense that my teacher is here. She will figure it out. If there's any problem, I can
That
rely
emotional
on her.
connectivity,
Yeah.
that emotional connectivity between the student and the teacher, that is very important, and that is created during the physical class, when the teacher and the students are available physically, in front of each other. That emotional connect is an X factor of the class,
Yes, ma'am.
right?
Absolutely, ma'am. Moving forward, ma'am, do you think the inclusion of augmented reality, a technology used in e-learning, can make the teaching more effective? What are your views on the same, ma'am?
Yeah, of course. See, as I have told you, that this augmented reality is a very new concept in the education, and it has brought many new changes in the curriculum. Because, see, we as a teacher are imparting what we have attained in our time period when we were being trained as the teachers. But this augmented reality concept is, can I say, AR?
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
so this AR technology is helping the teachers to make the students realize the practicality and also the usefulness of certain things when we talk about the hand-on experiences. For example, when we talk about the digital information, okay, the digital information can be provided to the students through many apps, through many websites and everything. But what about the practicality of, or maybe if I am a, suppose if I am an art teacher and if I want to convey to my student that how the particular object is going to look in a particular a piece of center, then how I'm going to give that hand on experience to my student. I'm not going to take that child to my home and giving that example in personal. So obviously this augmented reality is helping the teachers and the other educators also, beside the other people, that okay, this object is going to look this way if we are going to place them. Like for example, now we are having so many apps these days, like decoding and problem solving. These are the basic skills which we need to impart in our students when we talk about the national education policy of to 2020, which we are recently implementing in our education system. So it has become very very important for us to first understand that what actually is the augmented reality. It is not the virtual reality. Virtual reality is totally different from augmented reality. So students need to learn that. And until and unless the educators, the facilitators are not trained on their own, how come they are going to impart the same knowledge to the student? So that is why I think that augmented reality is now creating its space in the education system. It's searching its space now. And if we talk about, suppose, like the history teacher can use this technology. I think it's a very beneficial technology if we can use there in the classroom, because they can obviously create some holograms for the biographies if they are teaching the particular biography to the student. So student will easily understand what actually the object is, what actually the subject or the model a teacher wants to convey to them. So augmented reality should be used, I must say, because recently we were having some teachers training programs through the CBSC, and in those all programs, many activities were based on this particular concept, and the teachers and the thoughts of the teachers were welcomed, that how beside the books and pen and copies, how we can involve children by doing certain activities and involving their whole that intelligence, involving the whole intelligence. All the faculties of mind should be working at one point of time. So this is how this augmented reality can be used in the classroom atmosphere. And the same the government is also stressing for the educational department, that we should now remove that stress from the student of only reading the books, of only rectification. We should you know uh, demotivate these activities. Rather, we should also encourage the students to understand that how a particular subject can be taken into a different in a different way. It's not always that teaching history is always not learning dates and facts. It can also be creative, it can also be interesting, and it can be done only by the involvement of augmented reality. There are other subjects also. If we talk about like arts, engineering, I think for engineering students, I can only imagine, because I have not I was not good in maths, so I can't say that. But obviously this augmented reality may help engineering students very well to create certain structures or diagrams maybe, and to understand the whole structure very well. So I will also like to implement such concept in my own school, because I see these days we were getting the information, and we need to impart the education in a way according to the atmosphere. And now we are living in a very a high technology atmosphere, we can say. Or we can say we should use the all kind of skills to impart the education among the students, so that they holistically they should be developed, right? So because this is the competitive world, when they will go out, they should be prepared, facing all the scenarios and all kind of problems. Then only, if the problem solving will be there in them, then only I think they will be successful everywhere, wherever they will go.
Absolutely, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am. And they say that I would just like to, reply to that part of you that you're not good at maths. They say that either you are beautiful or you're good at maths. Well, I'm just kidding, ma'am. So, ma'am, moving on, uh, we were just talking about the impacts of technology on education. So earlier, back when we were students, we used to, study. Let it be, science or any other subject. We used to only see. We only had a, diagram or a flow chart. We had to study. We had to learn from that only. But now, technology. Yeah, it is an advantage of technology in education that we are able to watch ppts and videos over the smallest topic on any subject, on any thing. So
Right.
do you think there are some cons, some disadvantages of this technology also when it comes to education?
Obviously, see, when we talk about our generations, when in those times the educational system was totally different, totally different. We were so much inquisitive, but we were not having resources to learn from. We were inquisitive, but we were not having any kind of resources. We were, we would like to know that how these, insects have their own life. But now you name an insect, and you just type on the this artificial intelligence will give you all the answers, all the images to understand the whole life cycle. So this is how, see, there are obviously the pros of the digital learning, or I should say e-learning, but the cons are also equally there, which are are really alarming. If I talk about the cons, firstly, I want to tell you that I think there are so many audiences which are listening to me, and many of them must be the students also. So I just wanted to let them know that, see, you must have heard one, proverb that the beauty lies in the beholder's eye. I always, it's a pun. So, see, I always say to my students that the use of a gadget lies in your own hand, that how you are using it, either in a positive manner or a negative manner. It's up to you. So, if the child is using the particular technology for its own good, for learning purpose, then of course there will be no cons. But there are certain things which keeps on highlighting automatically when a child is active on the artificial intelligence, I should say the digital platform. Immediately certain things pop up which should not be there, and children have always get attracted towards the new things, and they need to understand that what is the bad content and what content should what to be watched. But here the proper supervision, proper guidance, and proper control is needed. So for that purpose, I think now the things are different. Now the parents are much more smarter. In our times, parents were very, they were not so friendly with the gadgets. We used to put the password and used to hide from them because they don't know how to put the passwords. But now the parents are equally smart. But obviously now we are having the Gen Z, right? Now the generation is the Gen Z, and of course they have the accessibility to those things which the parents cannot even think about it. So there, all the apps, all the websites should obviously facilitate the parents with some kind of control, some kind of the security locks or something which can be only handled by the parents. Because the students during the lockdown, when the periods were there of like 2 hour periods, and the students were diligently taking the classes and everything very seriously, very devotedly, but after those 2 hours what they are doing in their own room, parents doesn't know about it, right? So parents need to know that what actually the child is doing. Now the students, now the all I'm talking about the all student generation, that they are very smart enough to hide a lot of things from their parents, from their teachers, but they forget that we are also the part of the same generation, we are also part of the same world. What you are using, we already know about it. So I just want to say that obviously the pros and cons both are there. Children are bringing phones to the school. At one point of time, it was allowed to them because of the hybrid classes. We were taking the hybrid classes, online and offline both. So that is why children were allowed to bring the phone, and they were after the life of their parents that please buy me a good digital phone, good multimedia phone. And poor parents were doing that. Why? Because obviously they have to look after the classes of the students, of their children. But now children are misusing that freedom and using it for their own purposes. They are clicking the pictures in the school, posting it on the social media with some different contents, with some different titles and whatever not. So I would like to talk to the students here in live right now, that please don't do that. Use your gadgets in a good way. This digital platform is for your own good sake. You should use the digital information, whatever information is provided to you through this is for your upliftment, not for your deterioration. So this you should remind to your own self that this is how you are going to learn how different you are going to differentiate between the advantages and disadvantages of the digital knowledge. This artificial intelligence is for your help, not for your distraction. So you should not spoil your that those characteristics which you have. You should in fact take the advantage of it and just bring yourself in a better way.
Absolutely, ma'am. We should be, much careful with the smartphone, with the technology, and how are we, what are we posting on social media? For students, they do not think twice before, sharing their location over social media posts, and that could be dangerous. That could be a danger to them only. So we should take care of that thing.
Right.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, Meher. Right.
Thank you so much, Sanjana ma'am, for being here today. It was lovely, listening to your experiences and viewpoints.
Thank you so much, Mehak. I again want to thank you, especially for coordinating with me and providing the link and everything in time. And also, I want to thank the NTEB Infotech again for having me here live on the YouTube to share my views and thoughts about the technology changing the face of education. And I'm really glad to be a part of it.
Ma'am, it's an honor to have you here on board with us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. And for all the viewers watching us out, do not forget to subscribe to our channel for more stuff like this. Thank you, ma'am. Have a great day.
You too. Thank you so much.